Now, as we've been finding out, space tourism is going to be big business. But what would it be like to be one of those first paying customers to go up into orbit? Well, we've met a man who's lined up to do just that thing.
My name is Wimmer. I'm a financier, philanthropist, adventurer, and soon-to-be astronaut. When I grew up, it wasn't really possible to even think about going into space. Traveled the Earth, I've experienced so many great things, but as a 21st century human being, space has got to be the new frontier. The Earth is more or less discovered, and wherever you show up, there's a soft drink dispenser or something. Somebody's been there before. Space is not so. There's been less than 600 people to space ever. It's amazing. We as humankind have traveled in a band of about 11 kilometers, 10K up in the air, more or less, and 1K down in the water where most submarines would be cruising. That's it. We got to change that, and I'm planning on doing that. My dad tried a little bit to persuade me not to go. He thought it was a little bit waste of money, waste of time, and there's other good things to do on Earth, to be honest. But I think he also realized there's no chance on Earth he would be able to persuade me otherwise. I'm going to space. That's not up for negotiation. October 31st, 2014 was the most tragic day ever for me. It was the day that we buried my dad. I get a phone call from one of the Danish TV stations, and they asked me, what do you think about the galactic rocket? I was like, what? And I immediately looked up online, and I saw my rocket smashed on the ground, and I could read that one of the astronauts died, and I was like, my God, you got to be kidding me. This is just awful. So at the same day as my dad's funeral, I also saw my dreams of space being crushed. But having said all that, no point in time did it ever change my determination. I did not regret, and I did not even think about not going to space. In fact, the opposite. It only reinforced my desire to go to space. Why? Because never give up on your dreams. Always live them out. There will be setbacks. Accidents do happen. We're here for a limited period of time. Enjoy life to the max. And that's what I'm doing through my adventures and living out my dreams. And my biggest dream is to go into space. In order to go into space, there's basically two things you need to train for. Number one is pressure on your body. We have to be able to take 6 Gs this way on the chest. So that's the equivalent of you lying on the floor and having 6 people standing on top of you. That's a lot of pressure. Therefore, it's a very good idea to train. The way we do that is through the centrifuge. The second thing you need to prepare for is obviously when you get into space and you are there, you've got to be able to be in a weightless environment. You have your liquids in the ears that are sort of spinning around and you're just not used to it. The way we train for that is going into an Illusion 76 massive cargo aeroplane, going up to an altitude of 16 kilometers, and then we nosedive down for 30-40 seconds at a time, accelerating on the way down towards Earth, thereby creating plus G, minus G, that's 0 G, weightlessness, and we're now floating around, spinning around, and you're completely like a bird. It's fantastic. Takeoff is going to be wonderful, and then boom, it really kicks in. We will then wait for the signal from ground control. They'll say, are we ready to launch? Yes, we're ready to launch. So we're still flying here, flying. And then we get, yes, go, release. 3, 2, 1, go. And then, whoa, that then drops down. Mothership then goes a little bit on the side, go away to get out of the way. And then it goes like this, straight into space. And then once you're in space, and then suddenly you go from all this sort of noise and power and everything, and then suddenly it switches off. It's silence, and you're floating around. You're looking at the beautiful Earth. You're weightless, so there's like nothing. It's the beautiful silence. Once we're effectively turning the rocket around and heading back into Earth, we're then going to hit the atmosphere, and we'll experience 3,000 degrees centigrade outside the cabin. it's going to get very hot. And arguably, that's kind of the most dangerous part of the whole trip. I'm not scared. I'm not indifferent and ignorant to the dangers that potentially are there. I'm aware. It's not a risk-free exercise, but few things in this world are, particularly if they're exciting. What's the point of living if you can't feel alive? You gotta get out there and try it, and it probably sounds more dangerous than it actually is, to be honest.
And good luck to Per when he finally heads off into space. Now, this bar